Hey everyone, thank you for sticking around. I'm the last presenter. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but anyways, we also have about an hour to go into the market today. And what a roller coaster day. Very much sideways and choppy going into the end of this trading session. But anyways, thank you so much for being here. And today I'm going to be talking about about a subject that you don't typically hear me talk about, and that is swing trading, cannabis stocks, watch list, and technicals. Uh, Before I continue, just wanted to let you guys know that I dipped my toes into cannabis trading for the first time, and I verified this. It was in 2013. So that was my first attempt into the cannabis market. It was a very hot market. They were legalizing marijuana in Colorado, and there were a lot of stocks that were popping. And I actually um, did some swing trades in those particular stocks at the time. If we have enough time today, maybe I'm going to talk about those. And I still have those stocks. So I took a lot of profits in those stocks, and then those stocks came back down. So guess what? My portfolio for those cannabis stocks is down, but I have a special allocated account just for these cannabis stocks. They're very risky. They can also represent good trading opportunities, and obviously you can make a lot of money in these stocks. However, like David said, you have to be extremely careful when to trade them, because I have been locked in these trades for a very long time, since 2014. So they can be seen as an investment, but you have to wait sometimes a lot. So they're not for instant gratification. Okay, they don't represent instant gratification, just like day trading does. Okay, so all right, so let's talk a little bit about for those of you that don't know me, my name is Anka Metcalf. I'm the founder and CEO of TradeOutLoud.com, which is a trading education firm that is specialized in educating individuals how to day trade and swing trade the futures and the equities markets. I've been doing this professionally for the last 16 years. And prior to becoming a professional independent trader, I come with 10 plus years in investment banking. And I'm the designer of an institutional proprietary trading system. The reason I'm the designer is because I cannot take credit for inventing it. But I took the model from my prior trading experience, prior to becoming a professional trader, and I structured my trading according to price support resistance, specific trigger times. I developed my own trigger times for the market, specific price zones, chart synchronicity and divergency, a strict set of trading rules, and a 10-point scoring system that I need to have. It's sort of like a cheat sheet that you actually click before you actually engage in any single trade. So if you guys want to get a hold of me, we're at TradeOutLoud.com. We're also TradeOutLoud handle on social media. All right, let's jump into our agenda for today. So how to spot opportunities. And we're going to talk, and these are valid not only for cannabis stocks, but I'm going to give you my watch list for cannabis stocks. Okay, my cannabis watch list and what to watch for. So this is where we're going to be talking about how to spot opportunities and what do I look for if I want to buy or short something. But I looked through a lot of these stocks, and there are some stocks that are very hard to borrow. So we can only go long in some of these stocks. But anyways, there are some names that pique my interest of these cannabis stocks. And I'm going to share with you what is on my radar. And again, I don't really go through these cannabis stocks. I set some alerts, and I don't really consider cannabis as one of my preferred, let's say, domain. I swing trade any stock. So for me, it really doesn't matter what the stock does, because if it has good volume and a good setup, I'm going to get and take it regardless what it does. So I really don't care. Even I don't care when I trade any stock. I don't care what the company does. If it provides good technicals, good support zones, good targets, and good risk, I'm all in. Also identifying buy points and sell points. We're going to talk about technicals, like I said, and my complete watch list. But before we do that, I just pulled this off from my portfolio. And this is how my portfolio looks like. So you can see here that 2004, this is where we are right now. And the gray line represents my portfolio, and the green line represents the S&P 500. So this is how my swing trading in stocks is performing. And I have prior record, obviously, before, but with this particular broker, I do have information in this broker, because I've been with this broker since 2012. I have information from 2012 till now. So you can see right here that 2015 and 2016, before we actually had election, we were very much sideways. It was a very difficult time to trade. Most of the stocks were sideways. A lot of the moves were triggering and then failing right away, because we didn't really have a good catalyst. And what you can see here, 2015 to 2016, you can expect into next year. Okay, so especially into late spring, summer next year, expect the same sideways range that we have had in 2015 and 2016. So it's kind of going to be a little bit difficult. All right, this is my win-loss ratio. My loss trades 24.79%. And this one is shrinking due to some changes that I have made. And also my winning trades, and these are all closed trades, 75.21%. All right, so let's continue with why swing trading and why now. I think the fourth quarter is the best time to start swing trading. It's not only a great it's not only a great quarter to start to learn how to trade, but it's also a great mover. Fourth quarter is the most active. You have earnings in the fourth quarter that are more dynamic, more market volume. You have two FOMC meetings, one we had yesterday at lunch, and we have next meeting in December. So we have a lot that is going on in terms of earnings, in terms of economic releases. Plus you have cornucopia trading, which is around Thanksgiving. So you have brick and mortar sectors that are starting to move. Some of them may start printing green, so they may make the shift from red to black. So a lot of these retailers that have been lagging may be picking up, and if they pick up in the sector picks up in the index, and there you go. You have your movement. Also, you have Santa rally, right? And that's a phenomenon. It's a well-known phenomenon that happens in December. You have window dressing last 2 weeks in December, and then you have the January effect. So there are a lot of things that are brewing right now. And in fact, with the wrap up of Halloween, which is today, we're pretty much, the door opens towards Thanksgiving, and everybody's going to focus on Thanksgiving. A lot of traders may decide, hey, you know what, it's the fourth quarter. There are a lot of holidays. It's not really a great time to start learning how to trade, or it's not a great time to trade. Well, in fact, this is the best time to learn how to trade, because if you're going to start having follow through in the market, this is the time when you can have follow through in the market. And by learning how to trade, you could actually outperform any kind of portfolio manager that is out there, because you're trading your own money, you're trading your own decisions. And sometimes these portfolio managers, they really don't care whether you make money or you don't make money, because they're making money off of your commissions. So why do I like swing trading, and what is swing trading? Well, swing trading is the sweet spot between day trading and position trading, which is investing. And oftentimes and I would say about 5 years ago, there were not a lot of portfolio managers and hedge funds that would go into swing trading because the majority were looking for investing, and they were fundamental investors. They would look at the numbers, do projections. They were not really that keen into swing trading, and it was a less crowded arena. But it's also a great arena because it slips away from that HFT zone from day trading. So it generates higher probability trades. It is a simple strategy of trading where you enter trades when the price breaks above a pullback low or breaks above a consolidation, and this is for longs, right? And for short positions, you're gonna sell any pullback, so any rally, you're gonna start shorting, or any breakdown. So swing trading is not about trying to capture the entire trend. Nobody can do that. Nobody can really pinpoint the bottom, and nobody can pinpoint the top. But it's about finding the best possible entry opportunities and profiting from the most of the stock up move by not giving away profits. Focused time frames, they're different than day trading time frames. Your focus is going to be the daily, the weekly, the monthly, and even the quarterly charts. This is a perfect solution for all traders and investors who look to hold trades anywhere from 2 days to a couple of weeks or more. Why more? Well, here's the scoop. If the market is not doing anything for a long duration of time, you can be stuck in trades for a longer period of time, meaning that you won't have access to your funds, versus day trading where you're in and out of trades, and then you could actually you can benefit from getting in and out. So that is an income producing style of trading. So like I said, if the market is sideways, expect to be in trades for a longer period of time. If the market is dynamic, whether we're moving on one side of the tape or the other, you can expect either, let's face it, you could either stop out if you're wrong, or you can make profits, right, in a much faster way. So swing trading, in my opinion, is the easiest way to make money in the market. It's literally the easiest money to make money in the market. The only thing with swing trading is that you don't have that instant gratification, right, that you get from day trading. So you cannot make the money this week or this month, and you could actually access it, right? Because that's how I treat my accounts. I have 3 accounts. I have my day trading account, I have my swing trading account, and I have an active investing account. In my active investing account, I hold positions that have been initiated even 3 years ago. And even if the stock that I am in is not performing, I'm still earning dividend on it. Okay, so it's a win-win situation for me. So I'm allowing those stocks to operate off of a larger cycle. Then I have my swing trading account, and this is like, in and out in about, let's say 2 days to about 2 weeks span. But sometimes, like I said, depending on the market environment, it can take longer or it can be shorter. One of the reasons why I like swing trading is because literally you're unchaining yourself from the computer. And I find that swing trading provides me the liberty, to set alerts on my platforms whenever I see an opportunity in a stock, and just walk away. So I don't have to sit in front of the computer the way I sit to make money every day in the futures market. Okay. So the other thing is that, the human brain is not wired to stay tuned and to stay focused 8 hours at a time. So that's one of the reasons why I focus 2 hours, like I give it my best for day trading. And in the afternoon, I like to focus more on, scanning through stocks, even through commodities. Stops have higher odds of holding. So when you're swing trading, you have less odds of stopping out. And you know what that means? That translates into less losses. A lot of traders don't know that. And a lot of traders are driven towards day trading because they think, hey, you know what? I can risk very few, I could risk a small amount of money, and I can possibly generate generate more money. And if my loss is small, and if the trade goes against me, then I lose that small amount of money. But a lot of people do not tell you that with day trading, you're actually incurring more small losses. So one small loss, two small losses, three small losses, you could have like 10 small losses in a row. And that really adds up. So day trading is really a finesse type of trading. You really have to know what you're doing. And sometimes, a lot of traders are driven towards day trading because they think that this is the less risk type of approach to trading. In fact, it's not. And most of the traders fail in the market because they approach the market through day trading. So basically, if you are a swing trader, you have more odds in your favor than day traders. And a lot of traders don't know that. The one reason why I absolutely love the stock market and love swing trading, because I swing trade commodities as well, is because you're stepping away from the hawkish algo environment. You don't have, the algos are operating on smaller time frames. Not a lot of algos are operating on higher time frames. So when you're when you're trading, you're literally, you have more odds for that specific setup to work. In swing trading, and I'm not lying, you can trade on an average of about 10 minutes a day. That's how long it takes to trade. Back when I first started Trade Out Loud, we were only swing trading in the program, and that was from 2010 till about 2016. Okay. So for 6 years, we were only swing trading, and I never once stood in front of the computer more than 10 minutes, other than when I was scanning for stocks. And that took me about 4 to 5 hours a week. Okay, about 4 to 5 hours a week. And that's because I ran a program where I had to spend a lot of time on analysis, and I had to spend a lot of time with the homework. But it literally takes you 10 minutes a day. Why? Well, because at the time when you decide what to trade, and let's say you have a pool of stocks that you have interest in, and I never have interest in more than, let's say, 3 to 5 stocks in each and every single week. Sometimes you may not get a trigger in a week, and sometimes you may get some really great opportunities in a weekend where you have more trades in a week, and then there are some weeks there can be dry. So as a maximum amount of work per week, I would say 4 hours for scanning, and that's pretty much it. You set your alerts, you have your phone. Now you could trade from your phone, you could trade from your tablet, you have access to online platform. Whether you're at work or on the go, wherever you are, swing trading is my absolute preferred method. In 2016, we had so many requests because I was day trading futures, and I had so many requests to start teaching traders how to trade futures that I had to jump from swing trading, and I had to put together a manual on how to day trade futures, because I love trading futures in the first 2 hours. I mean, for me, it makes a lot of sense, but we're not here to talk about futures. But anyway, so you're unchaining yourself from the computer, and you make your money work for you. Okay, you make your money work for you. We still have a program for swing trading stocks, and that we call in the trading room. And actually, starting next week, the two are going to be completely separated. So we're going to have this futures program and the swing trading program completely separate. And like I said, with swing trading, you basically are hands off. Okay, you're hands off. You don't have to sit in front of the computer 24/7, or even 7 hours a day, or 6 hours a day. there are higher time frames. You have to let the trade develop. Identifying high probability trades. I think one of the biggest and the most important element for swing trading is the fact that you have to know how to recognize a trend and trade the trend and not go aggressively against it unless you have really good reason to. And there are technicals in some instances where you could go against the trend. But for me, it works when I'm following the trend. So I've been trading, like I said, for a very long time. I first started with Trade Out Loud, and we had a swing trading service. And we actually have records of all our trades from 2010. So if anyone, is asking me, okay, have you traded before? I mean, I have records and portfolios from 2010. We're like almost 2020 right now, right? 10-year records of trading. Okay, so basically when you're looking to swing trade, you have to pay attention to breakouts or breakdown. Those are ranges, price breaking above or price breaking down. Obviously, if you're in an uptrend, you're going to be looking to get the breakout. If you're in a downtrend, you're going to look to get into the breakdown. The other thing is that you have to look for pullbacks, pullback buys or pullback sells. Like I said, with these cannabis stocks, and I'm going to share with you my list. It's really hard for some to short because they're hard to borrow. And then the other thing is gaps. Now, gaps are occurring, the majority of gaps are occurring when they have news events that are separate from what? Earnings, right? Or downgrades or upgrades. Okay, so now let's get to cannabis. Okay, hold on. Stocks, here it is. All right. Okay, so I'm going to post in here. I'm going to hit this, and you could actually click on the list and have access to my list. The stocks that I find are on the hot list of each and every single cannabis stock trader. So you can click on the link. You can view exactly what I'm viewing right now. It's a FinViz type of chart. I'm going to show it to you in 1 second. Here it is. Okay, where you're going to find my stock list in alphabetical order. Are there any other stocks? Are there any stocks aside of these? Yes, there are. Okay, like I said, I do own a few stocks. They're penny stocks, and in fact, the stocks that I was trading in 2013, they were penny stocks, but they had so much going for them, and I actually made like over 97% on one stock. And that's huge, 97% on one stock. And then I sold it at the high and I bought it again at the low as it dove lower, and I'm sitting on it. Okay, so I'm sitting on it, but I still make monster profit in cannabis stock. And you have to, when you're trading cannabis stock, and it's not always about, and I know, David and Lance has talked to you about, more specifics about it, but here I am to talk to you, but here I'm going to share with you more technicals about it. Okay, so we're going to go deep chart diving right now. So first stock that I saw on my watch list, is Aurora. This is Aurora Cannabis. Like I said, I'm not going to go into the details of stocks. And what I do is I actually look at very high time frames of these stocks because they have been downtrending. If you click on the link, you would see that almost all of them, all of the stocks, all of the cannabis stocks are downtrending right now. And once you have news in these cannabis stocks, obviously the technicals are going to point you in the right buy direction or even sell direction. But like I said, a lot of these stocks are very hard to borrow. All right, let's talk about Aurora. This is the monthly chart of Aurora. This is the 50 simple moving average. This is a $4 stock right here that is really testing support. You can see that not long ago, 2014, when it first came out, it was a penny stock. And shortly after, notice here into 2017, we had a big surge in price, the stock came into $12. So it went from a penny stock to a $12 stock. It went back down. Technical retest, you could see the very nice pullback buy off the 20 SMA. For me, everything is technical. And like I said, I could care less if I'm trading Aurora or Apple or Google or Crone or GWPH or MJ, the ETF. I could care less what they do. All I care about is the technical pattern, because I think everything is going to price in at that point. So we had another big push into 1253. We have had the next pullback here that rotated the price again, continued higher into the $10, and then it slowly started to melt down. And actually, Aurora is making new lows this year. You could see it very well right here. In fact, this is January, and as we're trading below January's low, so it's a down stock for the year. It's making 52-week lows right here, so it has nothing going on for it. The other thing that I look for is the monthly. So I start with the the weekly. So I start with the monthly, then I go with I start with the monthly, then I go into the weekly. One thing that I see here is that I'm having a fanning out of these moving averages, which means that I'm getting a lot of pressure to the downside. Like I said, the stock doesn't have a lot of information prior to 2014, and you're going to see that not a lot of support not a lot of support below I would say $3 is the next support zone. But then again, if it breaks below this $3, it could become a penny stock really quickly. I still think that it has a very interesting conjunction here into the $4 area. We had a doji, and that's not far long ago, and it was in October. We haven't had this doji formation in a very long time, since if you look at this chart, the last doji that we had was this perfect setup right here onto the weekly. And this came earlier this year in February, where we had a really nice big push to the upside. This is what the doji, this is what I'm seeing in the doji right now. Like I said, and one thing that I wanted to add for these cannabis stocks is that whenever you trade these, trade them with fun shares, okay? Don't be overly invested in them. Trade them with money that you're not going to cry after. Always another rule for these cannabis stocks is that if you're trading, let's say anything above $3 to $5 stocks, use a hard stop. If you're trading a penny stock yen, then you can position size, of course, to 0, 0. And I'm going to share with you an example just after I wrap up with ACB. So in ACB, you're looking for a rotation here, but you're having strong resistance ahead. We have this prior low right here, so the stock definitely needs to go above this 450 in order to prove itself. So it has a lot of work to do. So ACB, love it or just drop it. I would just drop it. I have no interest in it. I want to bring out a stock, and I do have a position in PHOT. In fact, and I'm going to go to a monthly chart so I can show you the best activity that it had. So like I said, I bought it in this 2013 right here, and then I made really big profits right here in 2013. See this run up right here? This is me right here. And then I sold it, and I sold this at 60 cents, and I sold it at 70 cents. And then the stock came back down. I still have the portfolio from there. And back then in 2013, I had verified portfolio by a third party. So I can prove to you where I entered the trade and when I exited the trade. But anyways, it was a really nice pick. I picked it up at about 0.4 cents, and I made monster profits in it. And then the next month it rolled over, and then I picked it up back again. It was right in here where I picked it up. Okay, right in here. And you can see that the stock has been flat since then. nothing has happened. So PHOT is still around. So when you decide to trade something like this, obviously you're going to position size for what? For 0, 0, because there's no other position size that you can use. But use some fun shares, you know, like, I don't know, buy $250 worth of PHOT. Okay. Another example is ERBB, and I'm just giving you like some worse examples here. Okay. But anyways, the thing, look at the volume, by the way, you know, look at the volume. Even ERBB right now is trading 657,000 shares. So there's still some activity in there, but you can see it right now, 0.045. Okay. So these are just some examples, but in PHOT, like I said, there was another stock at the time. It was CBIS. I don't even know if, yeah, still around right here. So these are some opportunities. You can see that these are bad ticks. So trust me, because I have alerts in these stocks, and I have one account with TD Ameritrade where I have about 6 cannabis stocks in it, and those are for slow growth. All right, so these were just some examples for position sizing. If you decide to take some fun shares, position size for $100, position size for $200, and just forget about it, okay? Many of these companies can actually go bankrupt, so you can lose that money. But what do you have to lose? Like what, 200 bucks? All right, so the next stock we're going to be talking about is APHA. APHA also monthly chart downtrending. I am looking to see if the stock can pick up the pace over this 20 SMA right here. Maybe over 720, has room into $8. It's still not ready for anything. It's just not going to make the list. CGC. CGC is another stock that is on my list. It's becoming to be a little bit more interesting from the monthly standpoint. It came back to the 50 SMA, and you can see it right here, and a rotation over $23 may make it very appealing. So on the weekly chart, again, look how it triggered here, but look how it's coming with a lot of pressure from these moving averages and from these prior lows from the charts that are creating that selling pressure, and it's just damping the momentum. So this is not a buy either. So CGC, not a buy. CRBP is the next stock. And in terms of volume, these stocks are a little bit lighter in volume. You're going to see that a stock like PHOT or those little stocks, CBIS or ERBB or whatever, they can often have really high volume. So when I was trading them, they have hundreds of millions of shares traded when I was trading it back in 2013. And like I said, I'm sitting on a really great profit in these cannabis stocks, and I reloaded at the very low, but they never went back up. Okay, so you have that risk. CPRB is a very thin stock, 157,000 shares traded, and it is totally sideways. This is like a sewing machine, zigzag sewing machine. I wouldn't even give it a second thought. It is thumbs down. CRON, we actually traded Crone this year, I think once or twice. And Crone has been a really great mover. Has been a really great mover in 2018, and in 2019 you can see it right here. Right in January, just topped out, and it started to fall apart, just like the rest. I'm worried that now, even though we're approaching support into about $6, $5.72, it's still creating these fanning out, these moving averages that are fanning out are creating a lot of selling pressure, and it may get a lot more selling on their way. And by the way, maybe if it gets over $11 or $12, it may become a little bit more appealing, but nothing. It is a big thumbs down. So CRON, thumbs down. Here's one, and this is GWPH. And remember, I'm picking these stocks in alphabetical order. I'm not picking them in terms of preference. So this other stock also very much sideways. It has $100 for support and it has $190 for resistance. I mean, like talking about big ranges. The weekly chart is a little bit more interesting because it's trading actually above this 200 SMA, and it also crossed above the 10. So it may have an air bubble all the way into the 146. This is the one stock that actually looks a little better and looks a little bit more tradable for my criteria. It actually proved that it found a temporary bottom here into the 105 zone. Well, and also had a multi-day consolidation into the 120. Once it popped over 120, it released more buying pressure to the upside. And now you can see that for the first time about 4 or 5 trading sessions ago, it rose above this 50 SMA. This is a big achievement for GWPH. And by the way, GWPH, you can see it right here. It had a high of $196 and now it's trading 132. But this is a nice pin that we're creating here, and although it is into minor resistance from these prior lows, it can potentially unleash more buying pressure if it trades over this high going into tomorrow. So tomorrow we have to see a break over today's high, and then we can release more buying pressure into 139 for a target of 139.50, and then we could see slowly grind up into the 143 and 150. So this is the only stock that I have on my list that is actually worth taking a second look at in terms of swing trading. The other stock that we're going to talk is HEXO, and we're doing this live analysis here. And we're also downtrending, power moving averages fanning down. It actually is making new lows from its IPO here. Let me see. No, not really. Hold on just a second. Let me just go back to the monthly chart here. All right, no new lows. It was a penny stock as well. It was 80 cents. And I would just leave it alone. It's under the 20 SMA, has more pressure to the downside, and it could actually come in a little bit more. So the next one, so it's a thumbs down. The next one is IIPR. Okay, IIPR. So IIPR for the last couple of days, it started to, actually last 3 days, it started to go up a little bit. Tested the 20 SMA and on the monthly and onto the weekly. Very interesting. We had a doji and bam, we had a move a little bit higher. Notice that we have a cluster of resistance right here that is going to slow price a little bit. It may actually try to reject price at that level and may try to punch in a little bit further lower. But I like the first attempt here. When was the last time where we saw 3 consecutive bars in it? I mean, take a look here. It was all the way in September and then it fell apart again. We have not seen many consecutive green bars. So this would be on my radar in terms of price, $76. This kind of higher priced cannabis, just like GWPH. For my personal preference, I'm not a big fan of the 470,000 shares traded. For me, it's a thumbs down right now. Let's take a look at the ETFs, which is MJ right now. So MJ pointing lower. This is a daily chart. Actually, the weekly chart looks like more of a sell. You're going to see that it's triggering here. Unless we see some really major reversals from higher time frames, such as monthly charts or even weekly charts to start with. Weekly charts are still failing, so I would just focus on monthly charts. Still thumbs down for MJ. SMG. SMG is the next stock. Also, same problem with the volume, 361,000 shares traded. However, this SMG looks a little bit promising because first off, it has the monthly chart. The monthly chart, let's face it, the monthly chart is into an uptrend, right? So we can have a potential better buying opportunity. So this would be like a thumbs up, but cautious thumbs up, and it's the only thumbs up that I can see so far right now. So right now, if we get a trigger over this 105 level going into tomorrow and starting into next week, I think we could get a lift in this and we can start seeing higher prices that can potentially go back into the 110 and even the higher high that we had this year, which is the 114.80. So SMG, thumbs up. Actually, it's the only one with thumbs up, okay? OGI, okay? OGI is another stock that is testing the 50 SMA. The weekly is right. The weekly actually reversed, but it's turning back down again to the 200 SMA. The daily, the same, broke below 350 again. It has a lot of pressure into that 350. In fact, the monthly, remember, today is the last day of the month. So this is a doji. Going into tomorrow and next week and next month, if we get a break over $4, I think it may be ready to push into the $5. I would give it like a halfway thumbs up for this one, maybe looking a little bit better. NBEF, okay, and these are, we don't have many more to run through. NBEF, a lot of pressure from the $4 zone. You can see the pressure, a lot of topping tails, so the momentum is still to the downside, no sign of reversal just yet. OGI, okay. Let's see. I had some issues with the platform today. It was not just me, but it was just a lot of traders had. I hope that this is not. Okay, let's try STZ. Oops, STZ. Problems with the platform again, guys. Okay. Yep. I'm just going to show you these charts. Okay, STZ. See, no, it's not populating. All right, let's take a look at STZ right here. And this is on FitViz. You can see here that it is trending, yet this is the daily. Let's go to the monthly right here. Okay, so the monthly chart, you can see that it's trying to hold it a little bit higher, strong zone of support into the 150. If there was a stock that I would actually look for, STZ, STZ would be a better bet. Okay, STZ would be a much better bet. All right, so let's go back to charts. Sorry about that. Sorry about the inconvenience. My charts are completely frozen and they're not populating at all. So it has been an issue today. The other stock is TLRY, and wow, was this in play a lot of traders. Social media was actually on fire with TLRY, and it wasn't last year, and then I'm sorry, it was this year. And you know, they were just pushing it higher, and then the stock collapsed. And you could see here it's really consolidating at the $20 level. For me, it needs to break over 25 in order to regain a little bit of strength in order to move higher. VFF, and I know Lance has talked about VFF. Okay, so VFF is also on my watch list as well. You could see the downtrending slope here and the channel just pointing lower. So I don't see any activity yet. And ZYNE also very sideways towards downtrend. So the reality is that we don't have a lot of opportunities into. Okay, here's the STZ. Finally populating. Okay. All right. So you can see that, you know, from the cannabis stock, don't make it a habit of saying, hey, I'm only going to trade cannabis stock. There are very few times a year when these cannabis stocks are going to really start moving. Okay. Usually they move around election, and that is when we need to focus on them. And from my previous trading experience with trading those penny stocks, and I was trading them, like I said, so I didn't have a lot of money into them. but I was trading them, just for fun with money that I really, don't care if I lose, because what's the downside? It could go to zero, right? It's a penny stock to start with. Okay, so you're talking about 4 cents, 8 cent stock. Okay, so you're going to take that. You're gonna have that, idea when you get into the trade, right? It can't go in either direction. This is pretty much it, guys. I'm open to any kind of questions. So for me, I like to look at technicals, and like I said, I don't focus on stocks that trade below. And one of my trading criteria is for swing trades, I don't focus on stocks that trade below 1 million shares a day. I like large participation in my stocks. I want my stocks to be liquid. My preferred style of trading is swing when I'm executing stock trades. I like to see the price pull back to a certain point, to a certain support point, whether it's a price point or whether it is prior support zone or minor support zone or whatever kind of support, even a fib retracement or a moving average. So I like to see that area tested. I do not buy off support ever, because I find that buying off support is very, very risky. But I like to wait for the confirmation into that reversal. And I have the patience to wait for that reversal. And when that reversal happens, that's mine. So I'm never, like I said, never shorting into resistance and never buying into support. And I like swing trading stocks. So the common for options, I typically rarely look at options, but I like to look at options for something that is high priced, like Amazon or something like that. But even if with Amazon, I would much rather own the stock than play the options. So I'm not a big fan of options because from my results, and I do play some options trades, a lot of them expire worthless, and very few, trades you can really nail them. And looking hindsight at the results that I had from options and results from owning a stock, definitely hands down stock are my number one choice. So when it comes to swing trading, I love swing trading stocks. I think that this is the best method to make your money work for you. Okay. Let me know if you guys have any questions. This is a wrap, basically. And if you have any questions, feel free to post them here into the room. Okay, no questions. You guys have a ticker symbol that you want to watch, that you want my take on it. I'm available to do that. Other than that, this is it.